I was online a couple years ago, like around at 1 a.m., looking up SpongeBob episodes as I was a huge fan as a kid. And the new episodes they show on TV are absolute shit. So after going through bad quality videos on foreign websites and other sites flooded with ads, I came up upon an unofficial website that had full episodes ad-free. Okay, the quality wasn't great, but better than most of the other websites. On the bottom was a link that said SpongeBob Lost Episode. Being the idiot I am, I clicked on it. I thought that it was probably just a screamer or something, but I clicked on it anyway. I was bored enough to click on the video and watch it. I totally forgot about it for looking old episodes. The episode had poor quality, and the episode itself was pretty much forgotten by the writers. Like every other episode, it started with a theme song. The title card read Patrick's leg with the normal fun-filled bubbles, letters as we all know and love. The thing that didn't seem right was that after the title card, the transition instead of bubbles was just a blur into the beginning of the episode. Started out like a harmless SpongeBob episode with SpongeBob and Patrick watching the sunset, but then Patrick decides to go sandboarding, so they do. So far, a pretty normal episode. Patrick then tries to do some sort of trick on a sandboard but fails. As a result, Patrick falls and breaks his leg, and SpongeBob goes after him to see if he's okay. During this scene, instead of the usual Hawaiian theme music, more suspenseful, serious music plays. Also, Patrick screams a more painful scream than he usually would do. Enough, I could even feel it. Well, I guess that makes sense since he just broke his leg. Nothing that is too far out of the ordinary, right? Well, other than the opening and the music in that one scene, it's going pretty much like any ordinary episode. The next scene takes place at the hospital where the doctor tells Patrick that he needs to be in a wheelchair for a little while. As they walk out, SpongeBob is pushing Patrick in his wheelchair as they run into some girls. The girls start talking to Patrick because of his leg and asking if they can sign his cast as they walk away from Patrick, leaving SpongeBob by himself. So far, it's going like a normal episode. I don't remember what happened throughout the episode, so I'll skip some scenes. This is where it gets creepy. Later that night, SpongeBob knocks at Patrick's door. In this scene, the background looks more realistic than usual. However, I tried to ignore it. When Patrick opens the door, SpongeBob tells Patrick that he forbids him to see those girls ever again. Patrick gets furious. Not like he does normally. This is more realistic anger, and he tells SpongeBob that he hates him. The girls leave in fear. This is when I started to feel funny about this episode. SpongeBob then screams in an unusually deep voice something like, "Oh yeah? As long as you hate me, I can do this!" And then starts beating Patrick's broken leg violently with a rock. After that, the screen goes to static for a fraction of a second, and to a scene where SpongeBob and Patrick are apologizing for something during the daytime, except the lighting of the animation and the voices don't match up. The animation in the scene is very poor, as if it was a loop and goes on for a good 4 or 5 minutes. I was very creeped out, but I wanted to see how it ended. The screen goes to black for a minute or two, and then cuts to a scene from another episode, where Patrick has Jeffrey Jellyfish in a wagon and says, "Come on, Jeffrey!" And then the scene goes black again. This time for only about 30 seconds, and cuts to a CG animation of Patrick cutting SpongeBob's stomach with a piece of broken coral with realistic blood gushing out, while looking at the screen with bloodshot dulled eyes. His mouth doesn't move, but you can faintly hear him say, "I knew this day would come," with an echoey voice. You can also hear SpongeBob laughing for some reason. The scene goes on for another 3 minutes, but nothing is heard but static, which gets louder and louder, until it's unbearably loud. Then the credits come on, but with a very faint image of the last scene still showing. My god, that image will be burned in my mind forever. The United Plankton logo isn't shown like usual. After the video was over, it froze, so I had to reload the page, but it wasn't available. I couldn't even find the website anymore. Even when I looked up Patrick's Lay, nothing came up. I understand if you don't believe me, but what I saw, even if it was at 1 o'clock in the morning, what the hell was I even doing online at that time?